Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
A number of incidents at the U of A have many students concerned for their safety.
You know, it's a serious issue, and I think much of the root cause remains the same.
NAIT is breaking more barriers in the trade industry.
In our community, understand that skilled trades are a viable pathway for them. Regardless of who you are, who you love, where you're from, there's a spot for you.
And the grand reopening of a beloved Canadian discount store has people excited.
When it left, it was quite devastating, and when we got here and seeing the big lineup of everybody, it was awesome.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening. With the rise in crime in our city, many are concerned when taking transit, walking at night, and even in their own school.
Especially post-secondary students. With an 11% increase in incident reports at the U of A, many are asking why. Our Kayla Perot joins us live from the NAIT campus with more on this story.
Thanks, guys. With an increase in crime across the city, the University of Alberta is making changes to better support its students, staff, and community. Thousands of students take the bus and trains every day to get where they need to go. With 629 incidents in the calendar year, there's been 391 involving trespassing. This is due to more homeless people. It's no secret transit can cause anxiety, as breaking and entering, assaults, and trespassing are becoming more prevalent in the past few years. Some students are worried, while others think the university is doing a good job protecting them.
It is. It's a very big issue, actually. Security on residence is not that big an issue because we have quick responding UAPs and RAs on board, but on campus, especially near the LRT station, it's quite bad.
Around residents specifically, it's usually all right. I mean, later at the night, it can be worse, but I mean, for the most part, we have things in place, safe walk is around, stuff like that. So, I mean, it's been okay.
There have also been 41 reports of theft of civil property, 15 break-and-enters, and 12 assaults. According to an expert, these numbers keep pace with those in 2019.
I personally believe that a lot of these things will continue for a number of years to come because of gaps in our social support systems, and they're not going to be fixed overnight.
While the 112 incidents in March alone scare some students who live in residence, like at Lister behind me, the University of Alberta says the long-term solution is within all of us. The university is using a collaborative method to try to reduce these incidents, and the 51% decrease so far in March suggests that the method is working.
Our team specifically has a police officer and a mustard seed navigator, and their focus, not just help the vulnerable community, but you know, a lot of their work is based on finding social services, whether that's a shelter, whether that's getting an ID card, whether that's getting the bare necessities.
Allen also says it isn't necessarily a bad sign that there are more reports, as it makes the total data more accurate. James Allen also confirmed there's been a 400% increase of suspicious individuals on campus.
Caleb, with all of these issues, what can students do to protect themselves?
Yeah, and I actually spoke to 2 transit peace officers who told me that the best way to protect yourself at LRT stations and at bus stops is actually to just report the incident. You see, the more reported incidents there are, the better data the city can collect, and the more accurate that data is, the more they can justify spending more money on safer infrastructure.
What are the viable long-term solutions for these security issues?
Well, Kira, Allen believes that between EPS, community organizations such as Mustard Seed, and individuals, we can all help solve the security issues on campus and on transit. The U of A, in the meantime, will reduce building hours and lock side doors in order to monitor and prevent trespassing. While homelessness is the main cause of those issues, Allen believes everyone deserves dignity and respect, and providing stability for those folks is the true key to solving the issue long term.
Thanks, Caleb. That's our Kayla Perot reporting live from the NAIT campus tonight.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch.
It was only a week ago that 2 Edmonton police officers, Constable Travis Jordan and Constable Brett Ryan, were fatally shot and killed in the line of duty. Since then, there has been an overwhelming response of sympathy from the community. Flowers, drawings, and notes were some of the mementos left in front of the West Division Police Station where the officers worked. Constable Daniel Woodall School, which was named after the fallen police officer who was killed on duty in 2015, honored the 2 police officers with meaningful messages to EPS on paper hearts.
We often talk at our school about the legacy of an officer who's killed in the line of duty. So when we heard of the awful tragedy of the 2 officers who passed away last week while at work, our students and our staff knew we wanted to do something to show our support and care for Edmonton Police.
The funeral for the officers will be held at Rogers Place on Monday at 1 p.m. Access to the facility will be limited as this is a police service. However, the public can attend the procession route as well as watching the live stream in the Ice District Plaza.
The trades are often viewed as a white male-dominated career path, but NAIT is breaking down those barriers by hosting people from all backgrounds in their Next in Trades event.
We want all of these systems to function properly.
NAIT played host to over 100 prospective trade students in their Next in Trades event this past Saturday. Starting with the traditional Dance from Cree performers, it led into a panel of diverse people that have had success in their field. That wasn't all, as the students attended workshops featuring heavy-duty machinery, auto body repair, culinary arts, and more, giving them an opportunity to see how many possibilities there are.
I think one of the things that this event is really aspiring to accomplish is making sure that folks out in our community understand that skilled trades are a viable pathway for them. Regardless of who you are, who you love, where you're from, there's a spot for you.
This wasn't the only date for the event, as there will be another one taking place tomorrow, March 25th.
Alberta schools are set to receive $126 million to combat the increase in students and dwindling space, and to allow for more help for students with special needs.
Classrooms have become increasingly complex as a result of so much more than learning loss.
The funding will be released over the next 3 years and will be used to hire more educational assistants, provide more training hours, increase hours, and hire specialists like psychologists or interpreters.
Ultimately, this funding will result in millions of new dollars, adding flexibility for school authorities, more support for teachers, and a more impactful learning environment for students.
The funding will allow school boards to hire around 3,000 full-time employees. The amount will be allocated based on student enrollment and will be available to school authorities starting in September.
After a near 10-year hiatus, Zellers made its much-anticipated return Thursday, bringing back fond memories, low prices, and great-tasting food for so many Canadians.
3, 2, 1. Thanks, everybody.
The retail store closed its doors in 2013, and many Canadians believed that it was gone for good. So when it was announced that the store would be back temporarily in 2023, everyone was excited. 12 locations in Alberta and Ontario have been opened inside of Hudson's Bay locations, and the iconic diner is back, but this time in the form of a food truck. So far, the response from the public has been incredibly positive.
It is actually a very big thing. I grew up with Zellers personally as a child, so when it left, it was quite devastating, and when we got here and seen the big lineup of everybody, it was awesome.
Zellers will close back down April 24th. Coming up after the break, we'll hear how the Ooks men's and women's hockey teams have been doing before the season ends. And we'll see the Canadian Football League Combine happens in Edmonton this week.
But before that, we'll find out if these warmer temperatures mean we're finally out of winter. Stay tuned.
Tonight, we take a look at the NAIT Ooks hockey teams, and we take a look at a big CFL event coming to Edmonton. All that and more coming up in sports.
I'm Roy Navarro, NAIT NewsWatch weather, and it looks like we're finally escaping winter and entering the time of spring. We'll see what that means for temperatures for this weekend and the other cities in this province later in weather.
Welcome back. Kira, going outside with these warmer temperatures have been really nice.
Yeah, I've actually been going on a lot of walks recently. It's been really nice. Hopefully this means we're finally in spring.
And hopefully our Roy Navarro can tell us if we are.
Well guys, I can safely say we are approaching the first weekend of spring, but we're not quite out of the woods yet to ditch our jackets. With the cold wind still blowing in our faces, this chilly weather is here to stay for another week or two. Let's get into the specifics here. Let's start on in Calgary. With a 30% chance of precipitation and snow, we are going to be having a low of -5 and a high of +1. So some great time to do some downtown walks or some park walks if that's what you're into. Going over to Jasper now, we're going to be having a low of -9 and a high of +3, and there will be snow there with at least 2 to 5 centimeters of length of the snow there. Great for spring skiing and some hikes if that's what you're into, especially since, you know, it's spring, so there's going to be some grass coming in now, and you can see those scenic views really well. Now going up to Fort McMurray, it's going to be chillier than the other cities, especially with the low pressure area going up north to northern Alberta. We are going to be having a low of -17 and a high of -1 for Fort McMurray during this weekend. And then going back to Edmonton, it's going to be a really nice weekend for us here. It's going to be mostly cloudy with a 20% chance of precipitation. We're going to be having a low of -8 and a high of +2 for this weekend. And now for our averages, we're going to be having an average high of +5 and an average low of -5 as well. And Edmonton record states that we had a record high of +16 in 1910 and a record low of -32 in 1898. Now personally, you wouldn't catch me outside if it was that low. And talking about outside, last night there were some northern lights which I wasn't able to see, but they will be coming back this weekend. So with these weather patterns, this is probably the best time to see them. I'm Roy Navarro, and that's been our weather.
NewsWatch Weather, sponsored by NR92, the station for the students.
It's time for our question of the week, and we're once again partnered up with the NAIT Nugget to hear your voices and the issues that affect you.
That's right, and voicing your thoughts could win you a prize.
But first, let's congratulate our winner from last week, Tyler_3127. They say, yes, I believe it can give the city a culture identity that's unique from other major cities. It's the same thing as being from the City of Champions, as it creates both positive culture and gives people pride in their city. Congrats, Tyler_3127.
And this week's question of the week is one that's been on a lot of our minds. With the increase in violent attacks in Edmonton, is your personal safety more of a concern than usual? You can submit your response to the NAIT Nuggets Instagram page, @TheNAITNugget, by leaving a comment on the question of the week post. The Nugget will then pick a random winner for next week's show.
Hey Aiden, our Ooks hockey teams have really been flying this season.
I definitely agree with you. And as the radio play-by-play announcer for the men's and women's hockey teams, I know that these next games are going to be an uphill battle. Let's head to Mo Jama, who has more on sports. Mo?
Thanks, guys. With both our hockey teams having super successful seasons this year, they face heavy adversity this coming weekend, with both teams needing wins to keep their seasons alive and have a chance at the biggest prize in the ACAC.
The NAIT men's hockey team are in the ACAC Conference Championships, but face a big task, being down 0-2 to the Red Deer Polytechnic Kings in a best-of-5 series. Coach Scott Felnemeyer likes his team's loose nature going into their must-win game away from home.
You're at your best when you're having fun, and we're having trouble scoring goals right now. I think things can get a little bit uptight at times, so definitely trying to keep the mood light, and we've got some really good guys in the room, good leaders, so I think they understand that. They understand how to win. And
with the NAIT Ooks finishing as the 5th best team in the regular season, their odds to even be in this conference championship were slim. They've been in difficult situations already this postseason and came out on top. Now they look to do it again.
Our Ooks men's hockey team played tonight against the Red Deer Polytechnic Kings, down 2-0 in the series, looking to extend it into the weekend. And now we take a look into our women's team, who's also in the same situation. Down 0-2 to Red Deer, but still fighting.
After a great season leading the pack in the ACAC, the NAIT women's hockey team faces adversity in the conference championships. Being down 0-2 to the Red Deer Polytechnic Kings, Coach Brennan Jensen wants his team to know that the season was a success regardless of the result this Friday.
You know, I think at any point in the program to take a step. Last year we only made it to the semifinals. This year we made it to the finals. Heck of an accomplishment to be regular season champs. So very successful. Ultimately, though, like our end goal is to, win in playoffs.
This Friday, it's put up or shut up for our NAIT Ooks hockey teams. The women play in the arena on Friday night with their season on the line, and the men look to extend their series to Saturday, where they want the fans rocking at the NAIT Arena.
Edmonton has been host to many big events this year, and now we have another one currently taking place with the CFL Combine, happening here in Edmonton this week. Teams and players flocked to the Westin Hotel as they prepare for the 11th CFL Combine, happening here in Edmonton. On Wednesday, the players got their measurements and medical tests done at the Westin Hotel before hitting the field on Thursday.
Thrilled to be here in Edmonton. We've hosted the CFL Combine in a lot of cities over the years, predominantly in Toronto. So it's always great to bring it to a different community. It's just awesome to be here.
The CFL Combine goes on in Edmonton from March 22nd to March 26th and brings talent from all across the country to the forefront as they showcase their skills in a plethora of drills to help raise their draft stock. I'm excited to see all those future CFL rookies at the Combine this year. What about you guys?
Well, for me personally, I'm excited to call that women's hockey game tonight. What about you, Kira?
I just hope the men's team can win on Friday so that they come home to an excited crowd on Saturday.
Thanks, Mo.
Thanks, guys.
Coming up after the break, we'll get into some of the multiple festivals and events happening in our city.
And our own Adrian St. Ange takes us through the fast-paced world of go-kart racing. Stay tuned.
Practice, a lot of practice. When this place first opened, I probably raced this track, 50, 70 times.
I'm Nadia Curl, and this week on Entertainment, we take a look at a restaurant competing in Edmonton's Downtown Dining Week, as well as Le Café Bicyclette's new Terrasse à Sucre event. All that and more coming up on Entertainment.
NewsWatch music provided by Martin Mayer Productions.
Outdoor apparel brought to you by the Don Mazinkowski Scholarship Foundation.
Kira, I'm a huge Mario Kart fan. What about you?
Yeah, but I hate getting hit by the blue shells.
Fair enough. Well, luckily for us, there are no blue shells where our Adrian St. Ange went for this week's Try This segment.
Since 2020, Drive, located on the lower floor of West Edmonton Mall, has seen tires squealing, engines revving, and people climb to the top of the leaderboards in one of Edmonton's premier go-karting locations.
Now don't let the small size fool you. Even though these babies are only 218 kilograms, they can reach speeds of 45 kilometers an hour. That means on a track of 245 meters, it can be done in 23 seconds flat.
It takes much more than just burning rubber and dropping the clutch to nail your best lap time.
Practice, a lot of practice. When this place first opened, I probably raced this track, 50, 70 times. And I held the fastest lap time for quite a bit, but it just takes practice. Taking a corner perfectly is a difference between like 2/100th of a second. So, every corner matters.
More than 300 people visit Drive per day, with traffic increasing over the summer months. While most of that traffic is walk-in, they're hosting a Spring Drive Challenge where people can enter and score their best time. The top 10 performers will face off against each other for bragging rights and free races for a year. After the rush I got today, you better believe I'll see you there. I'm Adrian St. Ange for NAIT NewsWatch.
What a cool activity. Might have to check that out sometime.
Oh, for sure. But I want to know what's going on in the world of entertainment now that spring is here.
We'll toss it over to our Nadia Curl to find out.
Thank you guys. This week in entertainment has honestly been booming, and part of the reason is because of Edmonton's annual Downtown Dining Week. I had the chance to visit one of the restaurants participating, and it was nothing short of a tasty experience. Dining Week is back for 2023 with 64 restaurants taking part, all featuring deals and special meals in celebration. One participating restaurant, Amore Pasta, emphasized the real importance of an event like this when it comes to Edmonton's food and dining culture.
It's just our effort at reviving the downtown again, bringing more people into the downtown, specifically post-pandemic. We've had issues with so many businesses shutting down, which is a burden on the economy. So that's why we're just playing our part to bring more people into the downtown so we can have more flourishing businesses all across.
This year's Dining Week prize includes tickets to see Kevin Hart, a free night at the Marriott Hotel, as well as a dinner at DOSC. To enter, simply visit exploreedmonton.com/downtown-getaway-contest. Western Canada's largest annual beer festival is back this year to celebrate the appreciation of beer from around the world. Local breweries from all over Canada and other parts of the world will be able to showcase some of their new and popular drinks, and beer festers can have a chance to try them all.
The Edmonton International Beer Festival is right around the corner, and that means local breweries that will be participating are already preparing to showcase their new and exciting take on the fizzy and refreshing drink for people to try.
We're working year-round on various different events that we attend, so we have our events manager and our events team in place. We're constantly going out there looking for different events, being out there promoting our brand, and just promoting craft beer in general, just to make sure that we're ready and out there just to have all of our offerings out there for people.
Over 60 exhibitors will participate in the beer festival, and majority of them are local breweries across Canada that get to display their own unique taste of beer.
We have a hazy pale ale called New Moon. We have a tropical IPA called Fruit Hopia. We have a honey brown called B-League, and orange creamsicle, that one's our summer seasonal. So that is called Orange You Glad.
The beer festival will include live entertainment, local cuisine, educational classes, and many more.
You know, maybe I'll get together with Craft and Kuma Outdoors and create like our own little corner where we'd get a DJ, and you know, we'd had kind of always been on our own for previous beer fests, so this really appealed to us.
If you'd like to try a variety of local beers, listen to live music, and learn more about the beer culture, make sure to attend the Edmonton Beer Festival on March 24th and 25th. This is Shania Fausto for NAIT NewsWatch.
Starting today, Café Bicyclette will be introducing Les Dîners Terrasse à Sucre, an event with 7 dates lasting until the 5th of April that includes fine French cuisine. Translating to Sugar Shack dinners, Les Dîners Terrasse à Sucre includes a 5-course dinner of maple-infused meals, all set up in a wood-heated outfitter tent to really encapsulate the French-Canadian experience.
I think it's important to show our language and culture. Obviously, we'll be serving in English if people speak English, but it's a way to share our culture with everybody here in Edmonton and the surrounding areas, and welcome them to this great building where we do a lot of events that bring in our community right here in the heart of the French Quarter.
Tickets are $85 each, and you can purchase them with Eventbrite by visiting their website at cafebicyclette.ca. I don't know about you guys, but I really miss doing cabane sucre at school.
Oh, me too. French week at my school was like my favorite.
I don't think I've ever done anything like that, so maybe I'll have to check out a place like that.
You need to. Trust me, it's worth it.
Thanks, Nadia. Kira, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely going go-karting after this.
Well, I'm definitely going to be tagging along because it looks like so much fun.
Well, that's all from us. Tune in next week for an all-new NAIT NewsWatch.
Thanks for watching.